All right, hello folks. I'm sure you're probably tired of hearing from me, but we do have another severe thunderstorm warning that has popped up as all of this stuff is now, as the models were showing, moving toward the south and east. And we may see a little bit more of this as we go through tonight, as it's now kind of pushing almost as though almost like a front would down into some more warm, unstable air. The winds have been coming in out of this part. Let me take the lightning off. In South Bibb, North Houston into Twiggs County, and a clip of Peach County right there. You can see is that moving pretty much toward the east here. Let me try to get into the chat and see. I'm not able to log into anything over here, Alex. So what we're seeing with this, again, no tornado stuff possible with this. There's no wording like a tornado possible mention. It is straight line winds, though. Probably, if I could get into the chats, east at 25, 60 mile per hour winds. And we have seen an uptick in hail with some of these storms too. Look at that in South Bibb. Yeah, you're talking about inch in diameter hail. This is running over 75 Hartley Bridge Road area underneath there. Probably at this point it's over the Macon Airport, over Robins Air Force Base, with yet another round for the base of hail this time again. Macon Sky Cam? Oh yeah, that's the Macon Sky Cam right now. We have tons of rain, but we also have tons of lightning out there. As you can see, things just popping around, just one after another as this huge round rolls through. This is that severe thunderstorm warning that continues for South Bibb into northern Houston into Twiggs. And what was the expiration time on that one? That is 7:45 on this one. So more of what you've been seeing, which is the severe thunderstorms or the lightning stuff, and then of course the gusty winds upwards of 60 miles per hour, and the possibility of some hail. We've definitely seen that in this. So almost think of this whole thing now as it's starting to line up. Notice how it's really starting to take a swing toward the south and east, almost like a front. So now it's charging into this warm, unstable air, especially getting into our southeastern counties a little bit. And we may see things kind of fire up along that edge as like, again, acting as almost like its old front now. Could see another warning or two as these winds are strong along that leading edge. Let's take a look here with velocity. And you can see nothing's spinning, but you can see the sharp defined edge right here. This is some of the wind making its way on off toward the east. Let's zoom. Don't know if you can hear me. Not able to get into Facebook to see your comments. Look, can you look and see, Alex, are there any comments like can't hear you, can't see? If you can hear me. Oh, I guess you can hear me.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, well, we just took a shot here. All right, I'm able to look at some of your comments. Yes, we can hear you. All right, so, all right, we're just making sure everything is back up and running. A lot of lightning right here. This is really bearing down on us right now. Let's throw it back on there. You can see just an absolute mess. Good news is this is some of the last stuff, unless we see something along the front later tonight, which I'm not really sure that we would. But this is like one good solid punch here before this all gets on out of here. And you can see it stretching. Let me take all that lightning off because clearly we know we have it. See it going all the way down South Bibb into Houston, Peach. Again, not rotating. There's no tornado in here. This is just more of the same thing we've been putting up here with, but this one just has a little stronger wind. Again, notice the quick movement on the back here. Notice like a push. The graph model picked up on it earlier that all of this would start to dart toward the southeast, and that's what's happening. You can see a quick shot of clearing happening in the back right here. So, good news, and then sunset eventually will start to head our way as the clouds hang around and we can prevent ourselves from heating back up. So this is going to the plan that the graph was showing, was that it's starting to bow out here and come on down. So we may again still have another warning or two. This one goes until 7:45. See if I can get back into the chat. Stand by, folks. We have a lot of things we're having to see if they're working here. All right, so just with Northern Peach, Northern Houston, and South Bibb, over 1,000 lightning strikes in 10 minutes. Amazing numbers. Let's see. Trying to get back in the chat. Okay. All right, folks, we'll just ride this out. If you are south and east of what we're seeing in the Macon area right now, and not saying that it's going to be severe, but all of this area still to go that is primed still for at least the thunderstorms we've been seeing. As far as whether or not they're severe, we'll have to wait until we get there. Let's take that back off the map and look at the velocity again. See a little bit of a wrinkle in Sumter County down that way, but that's looks brighter on my screen than yours, though, I think. So a lot of this is, again, well, all of this is straight line wind. Hail size, again, big hail core in South Bibb right now. Not sure if we're sitting right on the target right now or if it's maybe a little farther east. It's somewhere between the Macon Airport and Robins Air Force Base going down the river. Hail core with hail that could be easily 1 inch in diameter. Big tree down on Peak Road at Tucker Road. Road is blocked, okay? Yeah, I see it, Joy. The lightning strikes don't seem to be letting up. You're exactly right. I mean, they're not going to until this all moves through. There's just so much energy still in the atmosphere. Thousands of lightning strikes. So for the Macon area to Warner Robins, this is probably some of the heaviest stuff we've seen all day. The heaviest rain and the most frequent lightning, even with all that we have had. If you're in Perry, storm rolling in there, obviously. Let's see. There's the Macon Sky Cam. Let's check in on Perry. Tons of lightning. Perry, the flags are going the other way now, coming right at the camera. Again, as we look in Dublin, very quiet. Storms still to come there, and hopefully they'll be weakening down as they get to you, but I think they're still at least going to make a little bit of a light show as they come on through. Let's go back to Perry. That storm really moving in now to the fairgrounds. You can see it pelting the camera coming across 75. The flagpoles are really waving. That's a lot of wind and rain coming through there. No warning for that part, though. There is no severe thunderstorm warning for southern Houston County, but it is really getting on it right there. That's the Ag Center. Coming across the interstate into the Ag Center. Okay. We'll go back to the radar, and we'll pick this back up again in a second. Yeah, no warning in southern Houston County, but you still got a lot of wind coming through there. This whole leading edge now is kind of turning into its own thing, as it's now morphing into just thunderstorms that are firing and a cluster kind of thing sitting still. Now it's on the move. So everything is pushing pretty quickly toward the south and east, and you can see that leading edge is what I was just showing you on the Perry Sky Cam. No warning for that. But the wind's really, notice how it's just really charging down right here. Which is good because now we're finally getting movement to get this on out of here though. It's doing exactly what the graph model was saying. Let's go back to that to see how it could look later. And it's picking it up right there, driving it south and east and away. And then the front, which is coming in late tonight, still right back here. Well, not by that far, but right in here. Maybe there's still a shower, maybe there's still a thunderstorm. Otherwise, if the graph is right, this will be the heaviest stuff we see, and that it will do it, I hope. See what the HER says. It's not even initializing right, so I think the HER is out to lunch. Were you about to say something?
No, I agree.
Yeah, it's not. It's not even in the right place. So we're going to go with the graph model. It looks like that solution is going to be the one, which is the one we would want anyways, because this would wrap this up in short order. And then we may still have rain or a rumble later, or maybe nothing as the cold front comes on down. So as we look at the numbers, there's another ding. What is that one? We can see the rain cooled air in the 60s. We have mid-upper 70s in places where the rain has not gotten to yet. Look at all that lightning. Boy, if you could harness all this energy, you could power a city for a year, but that is nuts, just in the Macon area alone. Just in that spot, almost 1,000 lightning strikes in 10 minutes. Yep, okay, so there we go. That makes sense. We were just showing you the Perry Sky Cam and how crazy that looked. There was no warning for it, but now there is. As this, again, this is all starting to take a linear shape now, which is good. That means we're starting to finally move it on. We'll just push it on through. We got to get it on through our eastern and southeastern counties.
Hey Ben, check out the hail on that storm too.
Oh.
They've got 1.5 inches.
All right, let's see. Oh yeah, coming out of Macon County into southern Houston County. Over 1.5 inch diameter hail there. So that is going to be leaving Macon County, crossing over 75 in just minutes, south of Perry, it looks like. Let me go back up and, yeah, look at that. Look at the Perry Sky Cam right now. One flag is already ripped free. That is amazing. We've already lost one of the flags. I mean, they're just getting tossed around like it's nothing. That is some strong wind coming through there. Easily 60-mile-per-hour winds. This whole line now is almost becoming, it's taking a form with a lot of just brute force now as it's moving toward the south and east. Wow. So the Perry Sky Cam tells the story about how it is all the way up and down from South Bibb through Houston County and rolling east at a decent clip. What are we looking at? About, what was the last speed you saw on that one? On
Houston, Macon, that is east of 25. I think they're all east of 25.
25 seems too slow, doesn't it? But I guess it is moving fast. I mean, the winds are faster, but it seems like it's also moving faster than 25. But
Also, out of Lamar County, the ham radio operators say several roads washed out, all dirt roads,
does it say where?
just across Lamar County.
Oh yeah, Lamar County is one of the places where roads are washed out. Seriously, folks, this flooding thing is going to be a huge problem. If you're in any places that are prone to flooding easily or even not easily, dirt roads, washouts, after this wind threat is gone, that's what we're transitioning into is a big flooding problem. You can see that giant flood warning that goes all in this green polygon here, and even over into Columbus. Too much rain that's been sitting there, and at least this rain is now finally moving. And now the storms to the south are starting to gather in. These are getting absorbed, and it is taking that, it's going to almost go just a bowing line is what this is going to do now. So I anticipate the potential for maybe a few more severe thunderstorm warnings as this goes all the way across and clears. But it's, again, there's a silver lining to this, and that is look how quickly it is starting to force in the back too. So it's starting to get a push and drive itself out. In other words, at least it has somewhere to go now instead of just sitting still with lightning and rain over and over and over again.
Good news is, it looks like the heaviest stuff will be coming to an end downtown Macon in the next 5 to 10 minutes.
Yeah, I think if you wanted to start looking at like, all right, well, where is it going to start clearing out? It's a good point, Alex. I don't think you can hear him, but if you look at, I mean, here we are at the station. I can already tell that the roof is quieter.
Yeah.
It's a quick shutoff, actually, on the back of it. So downtown Macon is starting to clear. As far as clear, I mean sprinkles left, but it's that front leading edge. And I bet there is a hail core in that south and west of Perry. Let's see. Oh, let's go over to it. Yes. That is some of the biggest hail we have seen today. 2 inches. And that was what was called for earlier today.
Yeah.
Is that baseball?
Little
Less than baseball in it, yeah.
I think baseball's 2.5.
Yeah, so that's not far underneath baseball size hail there. Do not get out in that. Yeah, even with a helmet, you wouldn't want to get plunked in the head with that.
And again, like what we're looking at is old data, so that's probably closer to Perry now.
Right, as Alex is saying, you can't hear him, but that may even be crossing 75 by now. This data comes in a little bit late, so it may already be moving over 75. Let's go back in and do a check on Perry. I can't believe the other flags are still hanging in there.
Well, it looks like, wait, no.
One of them broke free at the bottom.
Yeah.
I'm going to move the camera over. Lightning is just relentless.
And that flag there in the foreground is ripped.
Yeah, I think they're going to have to replace the flags after this. And look how fast these bands of rain are moving. Yeah, stay away from the windows, folks. I know we should have had practice of this all afternoon, but this is some of the biggest stuff we've seen in some of these areas as the main show is making its way out. But the good news is, what we plan on for later tonight is that this should be the worst of it as far as for the night, unless we still see a shower storm a little bit later. But thinking it's probably going to clear most of this out when this goes. All right, back to the radar.
I almost wonder if this is going to be the norm for the night as that southern push occurs, given the storm's a little extra juice.
Oh, I think they could probably go strong to severe all the way through now.
Yeah.
But again, got to look for the good news where you can find it. We don't see anything rotating in there. These are severe thunderstorm warnings with straight line winds, which can still do some damage and they can be annoying, but it's not a tornado. So that's good. Look at it on the bright side there. Let's take the lightning off again. And again, you can see that back edge that's starting to kind of form, where it's really getting a push right in here, forming that back edge, and then there is the front edge. So it's almost becoming like a front, a big squall line coming across now.
And I think this is the first time we can notice this. Just across the Alabama line in LaGrange, there was a storm that tried to form and immediately disintegrated. So if that remains...
Oh, yeah, see, yeah. So what Alex is talking about is if you see these storms trying to come into this environment and they're falling apart. So we hopefully are doing the job of neutralizing our own atmosphere for further stuff later tonight to not occur. The hail in South Bibb, North Houston into Twiggs has come down in size and moved a little bit toward the east. We still have not seen this move, and I know it's got to be past this. Maybe it went through parts of Perry and town, but I think that this is already somewhere over here by now. Okay, let me go back to velocity mode here. And really all we're seeing is just straight line winds. So when you're seeing this bow here, and this bow here, that's going to be your wind just really pushing out as it comes across here. So bowing segments all the way up and down the line. Back out to the big picture again. Let's go really big picture and see what's happening back in Alabama, because that's key. Here's the front back here. So, oops, it's not a warm front. That's not what I meant. How about okay. Right back here is the cold front. I'm going to save that so we can see it next time. So, oh, computer's locking up for a second. Hold on a second. Just moving things around, so it's going to lock for just a second, but I'm about to unlock it. Okay, there's the loop again. Let's try drawing that front on there again. We kind of move that like that. Okay. So if we look back over there, though, it's good to see no warnings along the line that is in Alabama. They've had heat with sun and everything. What you got? Anything new? Just a random ding. Be interesting to get a count of all these lightning strikes from the day. Yeah, so you can see that straight line edge, straight edge. Let's stop the thing. All right, so all of this right here is acting as a very sharp squall line now. So if you find yourself out in front of that, let's say it is moving, let me erase that. Let's say it is moving at around 25. What I'll do is draw that along there and then go down around 25. You can see some of the places, and we're going to treat this whole line now like you know, it is a rough line of storms, but like something that could be severe. So just kind of follow that whole squall line. That'll kind of give you an indication of what could be next on the list. No tornado in Warner Robins, though, right? Yeah, right, no tornadoes out there. There are no tornadoes. It is definitely making a ruckus out there, but nothing tornadic with this. Not focusing as much on Wilkinson, Washington, Johnson. It's raining there and storming there, but it's this leading edge that's starting to push south now that is becoming a thing of its own. Which one they canceled? They canceled Bibb, Houston, Twiggs. That is gone. They let it go early, because I think it was until 7:45, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, all right, so Bibb, Houston, Twiggs is gone. We're still left with, it's Macon County, Houston, but it's Houston County because that's where it is now. Things have settled down on the Perry Sky Cam a little bit. A lot better looking than it was.
So this is interesting that Milledgeville discussion just came out.
Yeah?
They're still calling for a Brookline to Street
So what Alex is saying over here to the side is that the National Weather Service is still saying we could have a shower or thunderstorm along the cold front as we go through the late hours tonight. And in my experience, usually after you work the atmosphere over this much, anything you do see after this would not be that bad, I would think. Especially when you're looking back along the front, back here in Alabama, where it has been sunny and 80 degrees and there are no warnings, and if anything, these storms are falling apart as they're entering into a different air mass. So we'll have to see if that's still the case later on tonight, but these storms back here in Alabama moving into northwest Georgia, not these so much, but these over here, have been starting to weaken. Now, once again, that lines up. If you look at the temperature map, notice what these storms are running into. Rain-cooled air coming into some 60s, and you can see what all the rain has done for us. It's given us a cool pool right here, so when these storms come in, it is a shock to the system, and they should be falling apart. And let's see. Checking velocity mode again, just to show you that you're looking at a bunch of wind, not anything rotating, straight line. Notice how it's really bowing out right here. So all of this, let's see if I can get that to go. Acting as like a really sharp squall line front now coming down. Fascinating. The graph model picked up right on it. All right, let's go back to the radar shot. Not much to say because it's the same stuff over and over again, and I have to be honest, I'm getting a little tired of talking. So the lightning continues to just impress, I mean, just more and more on top of itself here. We take it off again, and you can see really the movement of all this stuff, and notice the push here in the front coming like this, but you can also see it starting in the back to, I wouldn't say dry out, but some of the heavy stuff, it's all being forced forward now. And again, it lines up with this model, the graph model, which showed it doing just that. Notice it, when we go backwards, notice it showed it just plunging down south and east. And then the front still is midnight, maybe a shower, maybe a thunderstorm, otherwise maybe just a little rain or nothing, and then it will clear. Another beep that does nothing. We've had a problem with our beeping system in here today. And by that I literally mean the beeping system. I wasn't censoring another word. It goes off when it wants to, so sometimes without a warning. Let's check in on the hail again. And that has come down in size.
Hey Ben, another new weather scale discussion.
Yeah.
Someone's talking about us specifically.
All right, what you got?
So MCS, the line storms, there are two stronger supercell-like updrafts that have developed, the two hail cores you've been looking at.
Yeah.
Hail remains possible. There also appears to be some increasing potential for damaging winds along the surging southwestern flank. So that's the storms, Unadilla over to Columbus, I believe.
Right, it's all of that stretching back down.
And then some tornado threat also exists, primarily with the discrete updrafts ahead of the complex.
Yeah, yeah. How long does this warning go? This one is
So they
until
just updated that. They canceled Macon and Peach, and the rest of it's going to go for 7:45.
7:45. I see what you're saying now. All right, so I'm going to read this. All right, so the mesoscale discussion you're talking about. All right, so this is basically discussing, this is what you couldn't hear Alex because his mic's not be able to be picked up right now, but over the last several hours, numerous showers and thunderstorms have evolved into a large complex over Georgia with an expanding precipitation shield. Now that's what we're seeing I'm reading this from the National Weather Service that's just coming out. So that is, it's all of this. This evolving MCS appears to be showing signs of increased forward propagation along the southwestern flank from Twiggs to Macon County. Additionally, 2 stronger supercell-like updrafts have developed along this surge, which may contribute to forward speed. Yeah, we've seen that right in here. Hail remains possible with the stronger updrafts, and there appears to be some increasing potential for damaging winds along the surging southwestern flank. Some tornado threat also exists, primarily with more discrete updrafts ahead of the complex, but we're not seeing any of those. Normally you would see, if you're going to see something like that, would be, we'll always call them little renegade discrete cells that would be out in front. We're not seeing that really, so all of this is right along this line. And you can see the hail going right along with it. And we can also see with the, back to significant weather advisory. So that's what that sounds like. Sounds like the severe thunderstorm warning is going to be allowed to expire at 7:45, and then after that, they're going to go with what we used to refer to as significant weather advisories. Strong thunderstorm for Bleckley, Dodge, Lawrence, Pulaski, Twiggs, and Wilkinson until 8:15. So in other words, it's saying that right now they don't have a plan to issue a severe thunderstorm warning with that, but they're just giving you a heads up that this is strong coming down. Wow, it's weird that it's quiet here.
Rain has almost come to an end.
Rain has almost come to an end here in the Macon area, and the lightning has shifted more toward our south and east. It has been absolutely loud here for hours. So a very almost quick spigot shut-off there in the Macon area, and starting now in Centerville, Warner Robins, Byron area, just kind of not going away totally, but just a few sprinkles, but the heavy stuff just pushing away. Again, this big push of a Boeing squall right here. So we could still see the potential for maybe a severe thunderstorm warning as this rides on off toward the east and southeast. Right now we have the 1 for Houston County, even though that storm has already cleared that polygon. These things are racing now. I think they're going faster than 25. Let me look at this, see if it says a speed. Let's see, moving east at 45 now. Yeah, they have some more giddy up on them now. So now let's do a new storm track. It's got a little bit of east, southeast. So let's stop this and draw it right along there. And then we'll go east with a little southeast at around 45. And there's some of the places in the path of this line. And it has a sharp edge on it. What does that mean? That means now this is morphed into pop-up thunderstorms. Now it is a squall that's coming in. So it'll come in a hurry in places like Hawkinsville, Montrose, Dexter. And I don't know what kind of sky conditions you have there, but you may see an impressive shelf cloud coming in. Again, it's not tornadic. I don't see anything spinning in there, so we're not talking about tornadoes. There is the potential, low end, for some of that, but this is mainly, all we're seeing is straight line wind with it. And a good bit of that. We're just saying the storms have sped up. They've outrun that polygon. That polygon's already history, but they're moving at 45 now.
That southern surge.
Mm-hmm. Really taking a shot here now. This, you can just see it in there. Watch as I back it up. You can see, watch the red just punch down. So again, this is where we would see any rotation in there, and we don't see anything like that, so that's good. I mean, it'll get your attention when it comes in. Let's see. Dublin has a little bit of rain coming in, but otherwise I don't know if the Sky Cam would be showing anything yet.
Some news about our keeping they're working on it.
Is it something in-house? Oh, looks like Dublin was trying to catch a little sunset here, but that's going to get dashed here in a minute.
Looks like there's a heavier shower just to the north of Dublin.
Yeah, there's a little one coming through. That's not the big thing yet. Yeah, that's that part, that little bit of rain coming through right there, but the rest of it, I'm not looking. What does it say? Random beep again, okay. Majority of the lightning seems like it's in this area. I mean, we're seeing it on farther south too, but as far as the collective group of lightning, it's all of that.
Yeah, I agree. The way that's set, it's just been,
Yeah, that is some, if there's not a warning there, it's definitely at least going to have some strong wind. That is really just has taken off. I mean, right there, that just shows you that's some really strong straight line winds. Watch it just force right into that line. So if you're in Cochrane, Hawkinsville, you'll probably see it coming in a hurry, and it's going to make some noise, and there's going to be some heavy rain with it, and some strong wind. It's not severe. There are no warnings for it right now. Could change. Maybe a little bit of hail in there, but it's mainly going to be one as long as you just stay away from the windows and let it ride on through. It won't take long to push through, and hopefully, we're hoping that this is going to end up wrapping up most of our main threat for tonight. We still, again, have to look back toward the west to this cold front here. There's nothing going along it, and this is in an environment that's warmer. They've had sunshine, and they still don't have warnings, and the storms are falling apart. I'm going to go, and these storms right here that have been trying to form are also falling apart. I see no reason why later tonight there should be some sort of hubbub along this front as it comes through. I could be wrong. I was once before. But this is, I think, going to be the biggest show we see, which is quite enough, I think. 2 days of this, too. So really has some giddy up on it now, moving toward Cochrane, Hawkinsville. The northern part, this up here, Wilkinson, Washington, Johnson, is floating along, but it's not associated with this main punch right here. I mean, there's a little bit of it right there in Wilkinson, but then it just kind of turns into just floating storms there. What was I going to come over here and see? No. Uh-oh, there goes your backpack. Don't really have any new information. I'm scouring around trying to find you something else, but I don't really see anything else noteworthy other than just watching this come through and that we are here with you. Not only that, but, oh, there are the comments here. Okay. Getting rowdy in Jeffersonville. Actually, I bet, I'm trying to look at some of the comments here. Yeah, right in on the radar site. It is the quietest it's been all afternoon here at the studio.
look at Valdosta.
Oh, there's a tornado warning in Valdosta. That's Alex just picked up on that. Just to show you, there are spots tonight that have problems. And that one's been going for a while. That one's been off and on rotating for a good while. But that is in Valdosta. So we don't want people to tune in thinking we're showing a tornado warning here when we're not. gets a little bit notchy in 3 spots, Alex. Danville to Cary to Cochrane. This has a little bit of a notch. This has a little bit.
And the reflectivity with that Cochrane one lines up.
Let me go back to reflectivity. Yep. So we're seeing a little bit of a notch here, here, and here. We're going to keep an eye on that to make sure that doesn't start to rotate.
And that's how you get these QLCS tornadoes.
Yep, that was what I was just thinking. This almost starts to kind of line up with a similar scenario. Let me not say that. Not a comparison to yesterday. Yesterday was its own thing. But this is what we would be talking about, that QLCS thing, which is a quasi-linear convective system where you have little spin-ups inside the line, which is what we saw yesterday, but on a bigger scale. This is kind of what we're used to seeing. They may be brief spin-ups and they don't last very long. The next scan, they may not be there. They may get warned for. They may get a warning for a second. Okay, that's Houston County is about to drop off that yellow severe thunderstorm warning. A little bit of hail and twigs, a little more so in Dooley, right outside of Byramville. And notice if I back it up and go forward, it's all with that surge coming across. Some strong wind going through Pulaski right now, through Hawkinsville. That Polygon in Perry right there is going to drop off in just a little bit. But we're going to stay with you. Even though we don't have any warnings, it's just been a little bit too crazy. All right, I'm looking on the Dublin Sky Cam. Was that it dropping off for good? Another random beep. You can see the lightning starting in Dublin now, coming in from the west. So you're probably hearing the rumbles. It's fairly quiet there. I don't see the wind really howling. That's going to change in just a little bit, though. But think of it as a good thing. That means this is the beginning of the end of pushing this last bit through. Want to get these last ones on through and then move on. All right, back to the radar. No shortage of lightning, that's for sure. Bleckley County just swooped in there with the rain and the wind and the lightning. Let's go in and check on those little notches there. They still look about the same. 1, 2, 3, but they're not doing anything more than that.
We are about to get an update with the tornado watch.
What's going?
Actually, areas behind the main line.
All right, they're starting to cancel counties from the north and west out of the tornado watch. Is that what that is?
Yeah.
Yep, they're trimming back. You can see right here where they've already started to take out, so that means Upson, Monroe, Jasper, Putnam, Jones are all out.
Give me just a second. If you punch max to how an updated county.
Okay. There's the big picture as they whittle away at the severe thunderstorm watch in Alabama as well. At least some things are starting to change. How about the severe threat for today? Have they done anything with that? Nope. So let's go back to this. Again, a lot of wind coming across here. So from Lawrence, Dodge, on down into Wilcox, I mean, it's fast moving. It's not going to take long, and this is going to get on through here. It is moving at such a swift clip now.
You want to take max 2?
All right, we're going to go over to max 2 for a second. All right, this is the graphic from Alex Forbes, which shows the counties that are out of the tornado watch now. So that does include the Macon area, Crawford, all those counties. Everybody else still in it, but it won't take long, and you'll also be cleared out of that as this continues its march toward the south and east. I mean, it just can't get over that, over the last 30 minutes, just that swing, punch straight down into, head into Lawrence and Dodge counties. Let's go back up to the Dublin Sky Cam.
Then this notch in Buckley,
Yeah,
south is 16.
still there.
It's strong.
Okay, let's go look at that.
Feel on Jordan 26, the yellow.
Yeah, that's both of those, but that one, I'm sure Peachtree City is looking at that unless you want to, they have their hands full. I don't know if they've seen it. It's on such a small level if you're not in there looking for it. Velocity 71, that could be just wind coming, or gate to gate 38. I don't really know what to make of it yet. We'll see what the new scan shows. There's that one, and then this one. Wow, right on if it is, where it came out of Bleckley through the Yonkers area in Chester yesterday.
Oh, yeah.
In the direct same path, if that turns out to be something. Right now we're saying it's strong straight line winds. But there looks to be a little bit of a twist in a couple of these spots.
Also, like right along 16, just north of that spot where we were looking, if you look back just beyond the main line, there's that little pocket. With the yellow right over 16.
Yeah.
I don't know what to make of that because it's close to the radar site, yes, but since it's so close, it shouldn't pick up on an anomaly.
You talking about this one?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And if you look at the rain, it lines up with the leading edge of the rain, whereas the gust front is a few miles ahead.
Interesting, something to watch. A little bit of hail up there too. Something to keep an eye on. That little storm in Alabama started to fire up. It does have some lightning with it. Why is that important, you would ask, when we have all this? Well, just to see if anything still can develop in these areas.
This is interesting as well, that storm. Notice that one lightning strike, the next county over.
That one in Alabama?
Yeah, the one you're looking at firing up, there's one lightning strike that is 15 miles away
To the west.
to the west.
Like another one starting?
Yeah.
Well, we'll have to see how that goes. I'm still going with the graph. Again, if you haven't seen it, the plan is for,
Also, then that storm in Alabama is weekly rotating.
okay, for this to charge on south. Again, there still could be, this is midnight, 1, 2 in the morning. Could be a little bit of something still along it. I still think that this is going to be the biggest punch. These past 2 days have been dogs, man, and this thing is just trying to It's taking forever to get this threat out of here. This 2-day threat is exhausting.
Check out that 5-day rainfall. Several areas over 6 inches. The radar track.
Oh, yeah, it lines up with that flood warning too. This is over the whole event. 7.2 inches in Crawford County. This is over the past 2 days. 6.5. 6.5. 7 inches of rain. 6-7 inches of rain in many spots. Most of that from today. Just sitting over and over in the same spots. All right, back to reflectivity. We have no warnings right now. I'm going to mention that in case you're just joining us. And we don't have anything tornadic. We do have these little notches that we are watching here. These 3. But so far they haven't done anything other than that. All this is moving at 45 miles per hour. It's like just one big squall line.
That next scan came in, and that little velocity signature right along Interstate 16 is still there.
Well, let me see. You're talking about right there on the 16.
Yeah.
Oh, well, that new scan, look how fast this is moving. When the new scan comes in, how far, there's definitely some strong wind in there. Now this one right here, that one, both of these, it looks like it's 2 of them now. These 2 right here, again, that, as like Alex said, these are QLCS spin-ups right here. They may not even materialize into a tornado warning, or if they do, it may be brief. But there's definitely a little bit of some spin going on, and it lines up with the radar. You can see the 2 notches right there. Outside Chester, outside Dudley. That would be moving toward Dublin. Not saying you're about to get a tornado. I'm just saying that there's a little bit of a kink in the line there. It may mean nothing. Also, discrete cells are starting to fire in Lawrence and Dodge. Out ahead.
I'm checking in with the weather service on these 2, especially that southern one. It looks like that, I'm sorry, the northern one, it looks like that kink has done a little more of a backward C now.
Yeah, almost like it wants to wrap around. Let's check velocity on these little guys up here. Don't see anything out of them, but oh, there we go. We just talked about it. All right, folks, we're about to transition back to television. This is for Lawrence County. This is a tornado warning. The one that we were just looking at, wondering about it. And there's one underneath it, too, that could end up going. All right, so the stream, folks that are on the stream, you can stay with the stream. I'm moving over here. Okay. All right, those of you that are still in the stream, stand by. You may not hear me say much right now. I'm trying to get everything ready for air. Okay, mic check, 1, 2. Okay. All right.
Are you keeping the max 2 on that computer?
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah. This is your workspace. Hold on. Let me change that.
Tornado likely touchdown southeast Twigs on I-16.
Keep an eye on that Dublin Sky Cam too. I've got it pointed in that direction.
All right.
What's the expiration? All right, folks, we didn't want to have to jump back on again, but this line has taken on a shape of its own and has been really gusting, making its way on down toward the south and east, and now has a couple of little squirrely spots in there. This one is enough to prompt a tornado warning from the National Weather Service. This is for Lawrence County. This does include Dublin. It is going to be running down 16. Now, we don't know if this is confirmed necessarily yet, but I've talked about it yesterday. Do not be on I-16 right now because this is going to parallel the interstate all the way down, it looks like, and it will be, we've already seen video from yesterday in Bryan County of what it looks like to see one cross it. This one may be coming right down the interstate. Let me get into, trying to load this computer up here. There we go. You can see all the lightning. And what's been happening here is we had all this stuff just sitting around, and now it's starting to just punch south and east and getting that sharp defined front edge. And that's where we've seen some severe thunderstorm warnings a little bit earlier. I'm going to take these watch boxes off. But now we're into the tornado warning territory. This, again, sometimes these things is kind of similar to yesterday, but not. And it is a QLCS type situation where what you're going to see is a line, and you're going to see brief spin-ups in there. Sometimes some will go a little bit longer than others. This could be one that maybe it's short-lived for a little bit, and maybe it'll settle down. But it has been showing this kink for a little while there. Alex, we can go over to Max 1, has a track now. Show you who's in line for that storm.
Yeah, Ben, some updated storm motion on this storm. The National Weather Service has upped the speed to 60 miles an hour now. It's moving at 60 miles an hour.
That's the movement of the storm itself.
Movement of the storm. Dexter, 8 o'clock. Caldwell, 8:02. We got Dublin.
Cadwell, yes, okay.
Cadwell,
That's all right.
8:08 there. This warning does include Dublin. There's 2 areas of rotation that we're watching. This one right along Interstate 16. The National Weather Service does believe that a tornado did touch, or could have touched down there in the past few minutes. But also down to the south, watching this cape near Cadwell, and notice this warning Ben and I were talking about earlier this afternoon, kind of a 2-for-1 deal. It's going to incorporate both of those spin-ups right there. And these are quick spin-ups. These aren't going to be like what we saw yesterday. In fact, probably not like what we saw today. You're not going to be able to see them. Please don't go outside and try to look, especially if you're in the Dublin area right now. And let me punch up the Dublin Sky Cam because we are looking in this general direction. You're going to see some lightning here off in the distance, and it would be headed in this area. In fact, if I control this camera a little bit and I tilt it this way just a hair, because Ben, if I'm not mistaken, when we're looking in this direction, we're looking towards the northeast.
A little bit west-northwest is where you're looking at. Yeah, but you're looking almost pretty much at it. If you watch it when it lights up, you can see the base of the...
You can see a little bit of a shelf cloud right in this area, right in here, when it's illuminated by the lightning, because you can see the lightning there off in the distance, and then notice it doesn't light up this far this way. But this is a tornado warning now for Dublin, for Lawrence County, that's going to be running until 8:45, I believe, is the expiration on that. Let me double check. It is 8:30. 8:30. Areas of rotation capable of producing a tornado near Dudley and near Chester. So this is going to be for the next 30 minutes or so for Lawrence County. And Ben, this might be the story for the remainder of the night past Lawrence County. This line of storms is going to keep on moving along.
I think this is how we're going to finish it out.
Yes.
Yeah.
It will be possible to see these spin ups. So 2 they're watching, one near Dudley, the other near Caldwell, moving basically right along Interstate 16. And this kink is right along Interstate 16, just south of Dublin. So let's get some roads in here.
I've already got some of them over here.
Yeah,
here we go. Go back over here to 2. I'm zooming down on this other one too, because if I look at it, Alex, the top one is the one they've warned for, but I'm going to do both of them. And we can go over here and take this. I wouldn't be surprised to see.
Yeah,
that is, to me, the bottom one looks worse.
Yes.
Now, but this is in Cadwell to Rents, in between these 2. This other one, again, is about to come running down I-16 right here. And, of course, Dublin is behind me here. So This, again, if you don't have to be on I-16, please don't. Let's get on in here and take a look. You can see where 319, we're about to get over that, where that crosses over in just a little bit. Again, it's going to be running parallel, almost straight down I-16 for a little bit. And I hate that for the folks who have no idea about this. If they're coming in from Savannah and they're coming in this direction and it's dark, and if they run into something like that, that would not be good. So if you know anybody that's going to be in that area, slow them down, stop them, tell them don't go. There's Cadwell right there. Let me slide over, and you can see this is not technically in the tornado warning, but this is crossing over 117. You know where you are in Rents. 319 is right here. So both of these, they're both in the polygon.
Yeah.
But I think the original warning was for this one. But both of these have our attention. So let's follow these two. If you're in Rents, if you're on 16, getting near, this looks to be staying underneath you, Dublin. Here's Dublin here. This possible tornado is running underneath town. Again, going to come right down the interstate here in just a little bit. So if you had plans on going in and out of Dublin or crossing over here, not a good idea. Same thing with this one. Now, we don't have anything confirmed with these, but definitely you can see for yourself the little bit of the kink in the line. There's also a little one down here in Dodge County, north and east, already past Eastman, but that one not as impressive as these two.
Yeah.
And there's the big picture with everything is sailing toward this way. It'll be clearing quickly in just a little bit, Alex.
I was just checking out some of the correlation coefficient, which is what we use to see if there's debris in the air, and I'm not finding anything, which is good news. But honestly, in this kind of situation, I wouldn't expect to find much, because with these QLCS tornadoes, you're not going to get the stronger tornadoes that's going to lift debris very high up in the atmosphere. Sometimes it can be evident, but we're not seeing that just yet. Nonetheless, this entire front of the line here is what we're watching for these QLCS spin-up tornadoes. So this means Lowry 814, Orland 819, Soperton. I know that's in Trutland County, technically not in the warning yet, but headed in your direction. The storm is certainly headed in your direction.
It is flying.
Yeah, at 60 miles an hour, 825 there. Terrytown, 828, and Gillis Springs, about 829. And Ben, this warning goes until 8:30. And to be quite honest with you, at the rate this is going, the storms might actually outrun the warning box.
I think it will.
Before the warning is set to expire. So that's something we'll be keeping an eye on. But just in the time since we've come on the air, the storms were right over Dudley, Dexter, and the southern Lawrence County, and now they're almost to Dublin. So that shows you how fast they're moving, and we've only been on for 5-ish minutes.
All right, take a look at this as we go to the Dublin Sky Cam right here. You're not going to see much because the rain is pouring, wind is coming in. That cell that has the little bit of a notch in it is actually underneath, south of Dublin, so this more running along 16. But you can see the show that we were getting here in the Macon area just a little while ago, just tons of lightning on top of lightning and wind coming down. So all of this is moving on into Dublin as we speak. This camera is probably going to get to where you can't even see much here in just a second. But it is literally second by second. That's how fast this is moving, coming in at 60, 65 miles per hour. So just the movement of this front edge is impressive. So we'll just sit on this for a second because we've looked at radar for 2 straight days. But just to actually see, you can already see the trees. So really the sharp edge of this coming on through is a squall line type effect coming on through. This is not the part of the tornado warning. I'm not looking for anything in this part right here. This is straight line winds for Dublin. The kink in it, the part that would be anything that would be rotating would be just south of there. But you are getting some wind and some rain. That other notch to the south that has already just blown right through the Rents area, Cadwell, still has a little bit of a kink in it, but it's not super, super notchy. I still think most of this is just straight line winds. This thing just has so much force coming on down. So there's the look. Again, we have had this here. We just got rid of it here in the Macon area, and then it went there. What do you have, Alex?
And we're starting to get reports of power outages now in the Rents area that happened here within the past few minutes. So interested to see what happened down there, as obviously this just came right on through. But like Ben was saying, this notch right here, not as well defined as it was, and that's what we expect with these type of spin-ups. So let me take this back a few minutes. And look right in there. Notice how we had all this yellow. That's some really strong winds moving away from the radar. And then this green right in here was that little kink we saw. Now let me play this forward by a few scans, and you can see it's not as strong there, and rather you're starting to get more of a straight line from Dublin down into southern Lawrence County, and then that's more indicative of that straight line wind threat. So we'll continue to watch for these spin ups, but Ben, as of now, that latest scan, not looking as impressive as it did before. Certainly not as impressive as maybe 7 to 10 minutes ago.
Well, and that's what's frustrating about those things. They come up in a hurry, and then within a couple of scans, it's gone. Which is, I mean, I know if you're in if you're in Lawrence County, you're like, there's nothing frustrating about that. The thing is gone. It's exactly what we wanted to see. Here's big picture stuff again. You can see the cold front back into northwest Georgia now. It is kicking up a little bit of a fuss here in the remnants of that tornado watch up there, and then it goes on back Birmingham and down. Now there's a severe thunderstorm watch there as this comes through. This is being trimmed away. Why am I showing you this when we have all this? I get it. We're still trying to figure out how this finishes out tonight. Is this the main last blow here, or is some of this stuff that's developing, does this still a player for us later? Also, this is more rain-cooled air that we have created here, so we'll see what happens when these storms come in. The ones before them that tried to do this have fallen apart. So my gut tells me that this is going to be the worst of it that we see, but we still have to just kind of play it as we go on through the rest of tonight. Now, I'll jump back into the actual tornado warning again. Whoa, that flew by in a hurry. And you can see that it is, let me get the watch boxes off of there again, very close to, before long, outrunning its box. It looks like they have trimmed part of it away now to where it's just this part. And again, I don't even really see much. There's a little bit of a notch right here. Let's go back into velocity mode because it can change on you in a heartbeat just from one scan to the next. So again, still seeing this one. This is the one that was originally warned for, but this one's still a little bit of a notch in there, and definitely some strong winds with that coming on across. But I mean, this thing is blistering at 60 plus miles per hour, just the movement of this itself as it makes its way into Wheeler and Trutland counties in just a little bit. Let's see. Yeah, so there's the Dublin Sky Cam right now, just that big force of wind and lightning. We have seen some hail along this edge too. I haven't recently seen anything of note. A little bit earlier we did see some. Let's see if there's anything. Nah, a little bit Johnson, Washington County line right there. That's about it. So most of the hail threat, we did have some earlier. When this whole thing started to bow out, you go backwards, you can see it really punching through right over here, just outside Perry and right on the Bibb-Houston line. And then, of course, we mentioned the flood warning. We have the big flood warning. You can see the green polygon that goes here. We were looking just a moment ago at some of the rainfall totals. Just over the past 2 days, there are many spots in this area from Macon north and westward, 6-7 inches of rain in just these past 2 days. Most of that today, with that stuff just sitting still right there. And then, of course, we've had the tornado watch, which goes until 10, but I know you had a graphic up a little earlier there, Alex, showing some of the counties trimmed away. So you can see that's good news. Let's take that from Alex. You can at least see where things are starting to get cut out. Yep. You can see from Crawford, Bibb, Jones, Baldwin, Hancock, Putnam, Jasper, Monroe, Upson, done with the tornado watch. And really, it's all here now. So there are more that could be trimmed out. They just haven't done it yet. The flood watch, obviously, for the whole area. And then we have that flood warning for Bibb, Jones, Monroe, Crawford, or is it more? Yeah, it's all this area right through here. Look at this right here. This is here's the rainfall total map. This is going to take us through this whole event for the past 2 days. Look at 8.5 inches of rain in Crawford County right there. What drought? 6.5 inches there. As we get into North Bibb, into Monroe, almost 7 inches of rain there. So, I mean, just impressive totals anywhere we check with this stuff here. And this is where it's been hit the hardest with the most rain. It's just finally moving now to get on down. So on top of the severe threat that's been going on, there's been the flooding threat, at least some flash flooding going on. And then, of course, over the next couple of days, it's going to be looking at the rivers coming up in some spots as well. That kink right there still got a little bit of a turn in it on Alex's Max 1 over there.
Just a hair.
And the top one, a little.
Yeah. I wanted to point out, though, for Dexter, Dudley, Dublin, Cadwell, the threat of a tornado has ended. You are all out of the tornado warning. This is now for portions of eastern Lawrence County, specifically south of Interstate 16, headed towards Treutlen County here in the next few minutes. As Soperton, technically just outside of the warning, but like we've been describing the types of tornadoes we get in a situation like this, I'm not too inclined to think that this is going to make it all the way to Soperton. Certainly you're going to get a storm, you're going to get heavy gusts of wind, lightning show, you won't believe. But I do think that, in fact, it looks like we're in the process of getting a new scan right now, that the QLCS tornado threat is not as great as it was when this warning was first issued. And Ben, we are certainly on track. There's that new scan there. Still a little bit of a kink. Actually, it's kind of interesting. It looks like it's all been lumped together now. If I were to draw a line, here's kink number 1. There's kink number 2, and it looks like maybe up here you're trying to get something to form, but it's not having much success in doing so. But if I had to label one, that was the, what's the right word? It's not too intrusive or invasive. I don't know what I'm trying to say. It's not too...
I think we're run out of words.
Yes, exactly. And it does look like that they are going to let this warning go, and it's going to be replaced here with this new severe thunderstorm warning that you see pop up on your screen. This is going to be for the rest of Lawrence County.
This is how we're going to finish it out there.
Yeah. Johnson, Treutlen, goes over into Emmanuel, includes Swainsboro. And then I bet, let me get drag, it has the tornado possible tag on it. Yeah. That's just, you know, covering all the bases. So we will see. I suspect, I don't know if they'll do this, they might let that tornado warning go early since it's been replaced.
What was the expiration? Is still 17 more minutes?
Yeah, 8:30.
They won't let that go. That's it's already about to outrun it. By the way, just seeing that Georgia Power reporting over 2,500 customers experiencing power out in the Cochrane area. So Cochrane alone, over 2,500 people. Power there. So we've seen so many power outages off and on. Boy, have we taken the hits here too from time to time. Of course, we're on generator here and have backup and everything, but it was especially earlier. We were just getting zapped one after another. And you can see some of the other power outages on there. I have no idea how to read this map, but it looks like there's a lot of people. That's basically what it is. So yeah, I see Bleckley County right there. Customers affected, served almost 3,000. Okay, 2,500, there you go. Bibb County, I'm getting the hang of it now. Bibb County, that one is 2,600. And then Lawrence County, which this could go up pretty soon now that storm has just been riding through over 1,000 there. But hey, over 11,000 customers served and all satisfied. So there is a look at the power outage map. Let's go back to the...
Hey,
yeah,
on that warning, just something interesting to point out. They have upped the forward speed even more now to 65 miles an hour.
That's crazy.
So it is moving as quickly as you drive down the interstate now.
So in other words, for those who have been saying, can't we just go ahead and just get these storms out of here? They are doing that now. They are just literally minutes away from clearing our area. Those anyway. If you go back to the big picture, we still have thunderstorms galore all over the place, but these are the ones that we've been most concerned about that shot. Now, if you go on down into Dooley, spreading back over, more storms still coming over here in Taylor County, still moving in. Macon County, we haven't forgotten about you. These are storms that are just training over themselves, increasing the rainfall totals and flood threat there. These are the ones that have had the punch, though, going down, turning into their own little weapon here, going toward the south and east. Let me move this out of the way so you can see a little bit better. So that is almost to Soperton now. So yes, we do have storms, and it is still making a racket in other spots out here, but these are not severe. Of course, we'll still keep an eye on those. I mentioned earlier when we were doing a stream on our platforms with Facebook and YouTube and all that, that this is going right along with what the graph model was showing, and that is, it's going to look kind of familiar, that it would be diving down like this, heading toward the south and east, all right, and clearing out. This is 11 o'clock as we go into midnight. Now, there still could be some stuff as we're seeing it now, coming in Taylor, Macon counties like that, maybe some leftovers. It's kind of the way I see it. Frontal boundary back here, the cold front that still has to come through to end all of this madness. And it looks as though there's just not going to be enough of an environment for things to form along this front, somewhere in here, as we go through the overnight into the early morning hours. So I'm thinking this is going to be the brunt of most of it. What, you have an update over there? Is it still?
So I backed it up a
I was going
little
to say,
bit.
that looks old.
Yeah, it does, but I backed it up because we have a video from Dodge County in Plainfield. This is from Bryce Wimberly. Let's check that out and see. It looks like a wall cloud there, Ben.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm almost certain those are that's lightning flashes. Those aren't power flashes. That's definitely a wall cloud. So this would have been as that leading gust front was coming through. Essentially, it would have been.
They're underneath it.
Yeah.
So it's circling, arcing around them.
It would have. If we could come back out here on 2, it would have been this line right here.
Yeah, because there's Plainfield.
That they would have seen. And so that it would have been that, and the rotation we were watching was a bit to the north of that.
So now you know what that looks like when you see a Boeing line like that. That's how it looks in real life.
Yes. So I think that's what that was. So now let's play this forward, and you can see that, it has almost completely just. There's a little bit of a kink there, but there's not enough to keep that going. And I think we're going to be right, Ben. Here we are at 8:17, and here it comes against this warning box. So it is going to be out of Lawrence County. And the next the leading edge of it will be through Lawrence County in the next little bit on into Trutland County. Technically, parts of western Trutland County in that tornado warning, but I really do think the threat is coming to an end. Not necessarily the severe weather threat. We still have this severe thunderstorm warning that's going to run for a bit longer because there are certainly going to still be some gusty winds rolling through Trutland County over the next little bit, then on into Emmanuel and down on Interstate 16.
All right, so let's go back to the big picture again. What I'll do is, well, not the big, but a sort of big picture, and I'll take the lightning off so you can see how all this has morphed over time. And it is right along with what that graph model was showing. It just took on just a punch right here and started to dart. I was kind of doubting it earlier this afternoon. I was like, when is this ever going to all of a sudden go from just floating around to just taking off toward the south and east? But that's exactly what it did, and it is flying 65 miles per hour. Let me take those watch boxes back off so you can see. The only thing on there is this tornado warning that will drop off in a little bit, but a massive severe thunderstorm warning from Swainsboro to Vidalia. This will include all of Trutland County, parts of Wheeler, as this makes its way on out. Now, if you're down in Wilcox County into Dodge County, I should say, thunderstorms all down that way, and we continue to go around the horn checking for anything in velocity that looks like it's kind of waving its hand like, hey, look at me, I'm something tornadic, but we don't see anything like that. In any of these right now, so that's good. I think it was going to be, if we were going to see it again, and we did, it was going to be with this punch right here.
Yeah, and Ben, my curiosity is somewhat peaked up to the north now. If you look just south of Metro Atlanta, notice how we have 2 storms developing. Just south of Interstate 20. What happens to those storms is going to be very telling for us in the next 30 minutes to an hour. If they're able to sustain themselves in the environment that they're in, that has been worked over by all the lightning, then maybe that piques our interest through the night tonight. But if they collapse and fall apart in the next 20 to 30 minutes, I think that's what we're going to be seeing over central Georgia through the night tonight. And in fact, it looks like a new severe thunderstorm warning just popped up there in northern Georgia, but that's way up to the north. That's
this one up here.
Yeah.
I mean, let's see, a little bit earlier you saw these trying to get going, and they fizzled. So these guys may not make it very far. I don't know why I really don't understand why they would. I mean, they're already it's sunset is over, and they're moving into rain-cooled air.
It's interesting though, because if you follow those from crossing Interstate 65 in Alabama, and you like, even when they dissipate, it looks like it's the same storm that's trying to
almost
regather itself.
Like it vanished for a second and came back up.
On the Georgia state line. Which is strange because the Georgia state line, as everybody in central Georgia knows, typically is where storms go to die.
Yeah, that's kind of a running joke. Yeah. So, I don't know, maybe things are a reversal of fortune. But so that is, again, until that big blue line comes all the way through later on tonight, we still have the potential. So at least finally, parts of the state, this little part, now clear of a severe weather threat. So the clearing of parts of Georgia is underway. It is going to take tonight through the overnight to get it all done, and really all the way in tomorrow to get all the way through southeast Georgia. So storm's still rolling out there. Again, that tornado warning technically goes for another 9 minutes. I'm hearing the chat. Are they?
Yeah, they're talking about northern Georgia.
Yeah, they've moved on to that now. So that is, we're going to hang here just for a second because this is the last hurrah of this. coming through. Let me take the watch boxes off yet again. And so again, this is the main thing. Look how fast this thing is going. It's almost already through the polygon right there. So if anything, the notch is, of course I don't have it on velocity mode. We're not seeing that very much anymore, but some straight line winds. Again, the general movement of the storm itself is at 65. So even, forget the wind. I mean, just the thing coming in is coming in at 65 miles per hour. So that's pretty wild. And then of course it also has strong winds coming out of it too. So it is almost already engulfed Trutland County.
And a little bit off the ground. So what we're looking at on radar is Lawrence County. That's probably 2,500 feet off the ground if I had to guess from Jeffersonville.
My brain is like
maybe a
oatmeal
little
at this
more.
point. Yeah.
But we're seeing winds of upwards of 60 to 70 miles an hour. So if I query this here, there's 74 miles an hour. Again, that's a little elevated, but if that's brought down to the ground, that's a 74 mile an hour wind gust. That's hurricane force winds coming through there. That's severe level winds, which is why a severe thunderstorm warning is in effect.
A new tornado warning.
Yeah, for Johnson County.
That one's not going to be in our area very long. Let me show you over here, Collinsworth. It is for Johnson County heading towards Swainsboro. This one's going to be quick. It's only in literally in about a minute and a half. It's going to be out of our viewing area because it is moving so quickly. Let me take a look at it.
Yeah, the rotation is quite literally right on the county line.
Yep.
Right there.
Right there. So it's technically in Johnson County, but by the time I finish this sentence, it is already gone. If you're moving at 65 miles per hour, it's already out of there. So this is belonging to Swainsboro now. So now we're just waiting for this other, I'm not even going to, I mean, yes, for Swainsboro, but as far as the 13 WMAZ viewing area, it is leaving and almost already gone. So this is the Lawrence County thing until 8:30, so technically I guess another 6.5 minutes on that one.
And honestly, I think the Weather Service has been good today about clearing out these warnings fairly quickly. Hello, there's a lightning strike.
Yeah, that was a big one.
Everything in the studio is shaking.
Including us.
Yeah, so I do think Johnson County will be cleared out of that warning probably before this 8:30 warning ends, if I had to guess, purely because of the speed of these storms now. We're up to 65 miles an hour. And Ben, earlier today we had a warning, I believe it was the Crisp County storm. It was moving east at 15. Our warnings today have gone from east to 15 to east to 65.
That's
and
pretty crazy.
Moving pretty quickly through the area. And that is, I think, what we're looking at here over the next little bit. So Swainsboro, definitely, tornado warning there. If you have any friends in Emmanuel County, central Emmanuel County, they are under a tornado warning. I suspect this one will probably go until 8:45. That it does. And this is leaving the 13 WMAZ viewing area. Also, know you got a lot of parents here in central Georgia with kids who go to Georgia Southern. This is headed towards Statesboro in the next hour or so. That's where these warnings are somewhat lined up to head in that general direction of. Certainly going to be looking at a lot of wind in Statesboro. The potential for a spin-up tornado is there. I don't think, we've been talking about hail today. I don't think we have any hail in this. It's very uncommon to see hail in this kind of setup, maybe to the north a little bit in northern Johnson County, to the north of Wrightsville there. And then actually a little bit down there, southern Pulaski, parts of Dooley County as well. But the story for us is going to be the wind and the straight line wind threat. If I flip this back over to velocity here, this very clear arcing feature from Adrian down towards Soperton now. Get ready in Soperton. You're about to feel a lot of wind. And then down into Alamo, McRae. That is the line surging on down. So this warning has 5 more minutes on it. This warning has about 25 more minutes on it as it moves towards Swainsboro. Statesboro is right here. That says state right there on the edge of the screen. There's Statesboro. So this is going to be in Statesboro. In fact, I can draw a track on it. And it looks like we were just talking about how they update warnings. They did just update that box. Johnson County is still ever so slightly in it. But let's draw a track on this gust front at 65. There we go. So McRae, 826, Mount Vernon, 831, Swainsboro, 833. There's that new severe thunderstorm warning. That's going to include Georgia State. So this is actually transitioning Weather Service offices now. The National Weather Service in Charleston, South Carolina just issued that warning. Vidalia, 839, Twin City, 842, Lyons, 844, and Toombs Central, about 852.
Looks like confirmed tornado on that one.
Adrian, let's check out the CC.
Johnson County.
Yeah. Oh, Ben, this is to the north of where we were looking. This is in Johnson County. So here's Kite. And there's that tornado debris signature right there. So let's get some roads in here because this is still in parts of Johnson County.
Okay, they were picking up on the wrong, okay, I thought it was that southern notch.
I did as well. So here's Kite. This is Georgia 221.
That's confirmed, I think, isn't
yes, Hood Road, Midas Brantley Road, College Street, Big Oaks Road, Tom Road. Maybe we could pop this up behind Ben. Or Ben, oh, hello.
Yeah, yeah, I'll take it. Let's see,
Yeah.
I've got it on, I can punch that up on mine over here too. Now, see, here's the problem though. I've got two of them. Go to Max 2, Collinsworth, for a second.
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
seeing two. So there's the one around Kite, but there's also a debris signature down here that's already come out of Johnson. So we may be talking about two tornadoes right here. But this is Johnson County. Again, it is hauling it, getting over the county line. This one is already over the county line, but that looks to be two to me.
It does.
And as if I back it up, yeah, you can see where it just...
And that matches with two velocity signatures we have. That southern one, the velocity signature is much stronger.
Yeah, so both of these are, at least at some point, have been on the ground.
Yeah. So if you know anybody in Swainsboro, I know they're outside of our area, but it's small world, and certainly give them a heads up, especially on the south side of Swainsboro, that we do have what appears to be radar-confirmed tornadoes, one coming across the Emmanuel County line and another one in Emmanuel County. They might actually split, if they were to stay on the ground, split Swainsboro right in the middle, but there's no guarantee of that. So yeah, and I don't think the correlation coefficient gets much more definitive than what we have here.
Yeah, that's two debris signatures. That's two different.
Yeah.
Both of those have done something.
And if we loop it back a little bit, so this one in Johnson County, there's where it pops up. That's 823. Here it is now, and something else that's catch my eye, Ben, is what we call radials. The line from the radar out, there's some lowering of them between the two debris signatures, which means there could be stuff being thrown up and over in some spots. And in fact, if I tilt the radar up a little bit, we can see how high this is going. It's at least 3 degrees.
Then it vanishes.
Yeah, so that's several thousand feet. That's nothing to cough at.
Yeah, that's a pretty decent velocity signature, actually, on that bottom one, especially.
Yeah.
The one that's in Kite, a little bit tighter in there, but that one heading towards Swainsboro definitely has.
And this is
something
gonna,
going on with it.
yeah, it's gonna ride right along 80. It looks like.
So if you have family and friends in that area, you may want to pass it along to them. As far as our Lawrence County, Trutland County, that is way gone out of that polygon, the one that we've been watching here. And the one that is in Johnson County outside of Kite, we're just looking at, I have to think on that next scan, that thing is out of Johnson County. This one right here, we'll jump over once we get the next scan. Because as fast as this thing's going, the next scan comes in and these two are like over here. I mean, they've already flown that far, so.
Yeah, and the forward motion is 65. And the important thing to remember about radar data is that it's old. What the radar does is sends out a beam, it gets the information back, it processes it, and then it shares it with us, and that takes a minute to 2 minutes. So this is where it was a minute to 2 minutes ago, and then we
there goes that other polygon.
Yeah. Then we wait a few minutes and get a new scan. So I would highly suspect that this is into Emmanuel County now. Both of these, we could have 2 tornadoes in Emmanuel County right now.
Yep. All right, let's take you out to the big picture right there. The lightning, no shortage of that still. You can see it around the Johnson County storms there heading on into Emmanuel, and then all these other ones trailing very quickly, running toward the south and east. Watch boxes all over the place that serve no use right now, so I'll take them off. So what we're left with is this giant severe thunderstorm warning, which does include Trutland and Wheeler a little bit, but it is already punching through those areas. Let me take the lightning off. And you can see the movement of all this. You can definitely see the forward progression that really just punched on off toward the east here over the past hour or two. More storms still developing, as we noted a moment ago, around Peachtree City. So far, these are, I had the lightning off, but these are holding together. These are as well. So we'll see how it goes. I mean, it's coming into some rain-cooled air, but so far there is redevelopment. It may end up being more stuff like what we're seeing now.
Yeah.
I mean, just garden variety thunderstorms that come on through without anything. That would be my, I mean, because I have seen nothing off toward the west that would warrant us to go into full-blown, severe weather mode again like that. But it could just be more rain, maybe a couple of thunderstorms off and on as we go through tonight. That's fine, as long as we've gotten all this big stuff out of the way. If we can get this on through, then I think we can deal with the other. And hopefully that's the way it stays. So there's the lightning back on it. So you can see, again, Peachtree City, back toward LaGrange. So I think we're still going to hear some thunder here in a little while, off and on. Most of this heavy stuff is gone. We'll see how these storms do when they get in that environment. 9 times out of 10, they ride in. They don't do very well. They kind of fall apart. It's like walking into a buffet and everybody's already eaten all the food. It's just like, there's nothing there. So we'll see how it goes as it comes on across. So that'll do it for now, Alex, unless you have anything. We'll take people back to programming.
Yeah, I mean, this debris signature is about to move out of Johnson County. It's over, this is the newest radar scan. It came in about a minute ago. Currently over Kite. It's along Georgia 57, and it is about to cross into Emmanuel County. But Ben, that's somewhat concerning because that is right over what this, I don't believe Kite is a city. It's a census designated area, if I'm not mistaken. But regardless, the crossroads of what Kite would be, it is right over that, and that was correlated with this rotation signature right here. So that rotation now in Emmanuel County, and I suspect Johnson County will be taken out of that warning fairly quickly. I do know our team is checking in with Lawrence County and with Johnson County to see if we have any reports of damage out of there. We saw the debris signature in parts of in 2 spots in Johnson County, and then had the report of the power outage in Rents. So that's something we'll be working on. But yeah, Ben, like you said, in fact, there goes the warning now for Johnson County. So as of this moment, there are no tornado warnings for counties in the 13 WMAZ viewing area. The tornado warning is almost entirely contained in Emmanuel County now, in Swainsboro. Again, all of this headed towards Statesboro and Savannah. And we're still looking at a lot of lightning southern Lawrence, Bleckley, Dodge County. I think things are rocking and rolling in Eastman right now, all the way over to Unadilla and back over to Columbus. And in the hours ahead, we'll be watching these develop up to the north and see if they're able to do anything and watch that in the hours ahead. So Ben, flash flood warning remains in effect for Macon, Bibb, Houston, lots of counties, essentially the northern third of our area. And we'll continue to watch this in the hours ahead as things progress.
Sounds good. Well, this has been something. And we're still not totally done. So we'll just keep an eye on all this as it goes, and we'll jump back on all of our streaming platforms as need be. But we'll take you back to programming for now.
Awards live, featuring performances by Kelsey Ballerini, Kane Brown.
Let's see, are we still streaming? Yeah. We are still up. Okay, for those who are still on the stream, we are here continuing to follow this. You may not hear us talking all the time as we're looking over some things, but we're really just we're gonna go for just a little bit longer until we can get the front edge of this stuff out of our area, which is only another couple of minutes, to be honest. And then we'll come back on if we need to. But what was that beep for? That's that big one that just went into Statesboro, the tornado, severe thunderstorm warning.
And another MCD just came out talking about expanding tornado watch for south.
Well, your mic's not. What you said. Let's see.
I'm going to go touch base with the newsroom, see if we have anything.
All right, let's see what that said here in the chat room. That is let's see, mesoscale discussion says, MCS, okay, that's about stuff that's getting, that's heading away from our area. All right, so all right, let's go back and do a sweep around. Well, I'm going to switch back over to My workspace here for a second. Just hold on, folks. It's just you'll still be looking at the radar here, but it's just swapping things in the computer. And reading some stuff. All right, there's the Dublin Sky Cam. Looks, other than lightning hanging around still, the big.
We're hearing of an issue on Interstate 16, down trees and people.
All right, we're hearing of an issue on I-16 with downed trees and people trapped. Is that what you said? And that was the fear when that was coming down the interstate, was that this was going to be running straight down I-16 and people driving into it or with it, or mainly driving into it, could run into a buzzsaw. Anybody that's still on I-16, down past Trutland, still a mess.
And then, just something to throw in here, it does look like there is what's left of the debris signature moving right into downtown Swainsboro there in Maine.
Yeah, they were talking about that just a second. Let's see. All right, it's all right, just since we touched on it here, for those who, because, you know, we know what's going on in our area, but as it goes south and east, and a lot of us have interest in places moving along from here, as we mentioned, Statesboro, and a lot of folks have students, Georgia Southern. So tracking this, so far it looks okay, and this Swainsboro one looks to go north of Statesboro, and there's really nothing down here, but in case that notch ever did anything, it may go south. So if things stay the way they are, this would not go through Statesboro. We would still have some very strong winds go through with a lot of lightning and all that, and severe thunderstorm winds. So still moving very fast, 60, 65 miles per hour, very windy, all that stuff. But as far as a spin, it's mainly that top line that I just threw through Swainsboro. And it's with that cell. And again, if you track that out, it goes across like that. Looks like underneath that severe thunderstorm warning, is there another one up there at the top?
Yeah, that's the tornado warning they use to continue that kite storm.
Oh, that's the piece of that one. Okay, I got you. So really, the only one, it's out of our viewing area now, but we're not on TV, so we can kind of just shoot from the hip here. This is a severe thunderstorm that does continue into from Sylvania, Statesboro down to Claxton and Glenville. Reedsville's in there, and at the time, it is just a severe thunderstorm warning. But you have to watch that one, and it is so far out. I'd have to jump over. I don't think I have Charleston radar loaded to do anything with that. I was trying to look for a TDS on that, but. Okay, so what I primarily expect with all that moving toward the south and east is going to be straight line winds. Lightning, no shortage of that. I don't think it's as much lightning as you get into this part as it is up here where the tornado warned storms are. I still think the majority of the lightning is what we all had back here in Macon, Warner Robins area. That was just insane. So this can still continue. And actually, you know, we just still had a lightning strike here a moment ago at the station because we still have storms riding in from the west here. So, you know, it's kind of going around again into Taylor County. Then the new ones that have been developing back here, they look like they're staying in check for right now. I don't see anything rotating with them or anything like that, these little smaller guys back up here. But they are kind of holding their own. A couple of them have fallen apart. I kind of imagine this is how it's going to be. They're going to go a little bit. Some of them may kind of fall down. Just general thunderstorms. Even with the rain-cooled air, there's still enough energy in the atmosphere to get these things going.
It's interesting that storm on Interstate 20 just past the state line. That's the only one I can find that broadly spinning.
I don't even see that.
I'm looking at it on base.
Oh, I see.
I'm not sure why that popped into Arvin, but that's the only thing I can find in that stretch.
Looks like both Vortices and Emmanuel County have weekends, Steve Nelson said. So that's a good sigh of relief for those who maybe have friends or family in Swainsboro, Statesboro. And that's this QLCS type stuff again. These kind of tornadoes, they'll stir up for a little bit and they'll kind of go away. So good news for those areas, for you fine folks at Georgia Southern. We'll see if I think you're still going to get some gusty wind through there, and lightning show will be pretty intense, but actually the majority of the lightning is going north of you with this stuff that left Johnson County, but you're still going to get a pretty good little light show with that as that moves on through, but at least the rotation in that has fallen apart. Going back into the core of our area, Bibb County about to get in some more rain and thunderstorm stuff on the southern part of Bibb coming out of Crawford. Again, nothing severe, nothing rotating, just rain on top of places that don't need it. And again, as you can see going back here, redevelopment, Upson County, Peachtree City, LaGrange. So off and on, there's still going to be rain, a little rumble of thunder. I mean, this was just such a juiced atmosphere today. I mean, just looking at the Cape and everything was just crazy off the charts. So I guess it shouldn't be too surprising. This is not going perfectly quietly into that good night. So still kind of fighting the battle here as this comes on across. Here's the big picture, and you can see the cold front back toward the north and things firing up along that and taking off. Let's take a look at the temperature map. And you can see it follows right along with what I was showing you. And you can see, again, our rain-cooled air that's been in here. And even when these storms have been firing up in, an environment that's probably more favorable for them, they haven't held together perfectly.
What's really interesting, if you hit that radar and Cape button, it loops for about 6 hours, and you can quite literally see a donut form over central Georgia from the workover atmosphere.
Do that one again. Tell me that again. I was looking at something.
The radar and Cape button over there next to composite radar.
Oh, go back to radar. Okay. All right. Yep. Okay.
And if you put a loop on that, you'll be able to see just the thunderstorm energy in central Georgia just be obliterated by the line that came through.
I mean, yeah, you can tell all the pink shaded area was just, we were loaded for bear this afternoon, and then it came in and just ate it up. That's actually a really cool map to show when we're talking about eating all the fuel up. You can see it just devour it. I mean, that's what powered all of this. To where it really makes me wonder, if you look in Monroe County where it's almost zapped, what happens when this floats. And I don't see those storms doing anything. Yeah, yes. Connors, to your question in the booth, yes, we'll leave these mics hot for right now. So,
that more counties will be taken out of the tornado watch.
I would imagine. If you even look along that line, and see how the energy is just waning back there. So I'm going to go with our original hunch that all that we're seeing right now is going to be the worst of it. There's still going to be some stuff to come through. Let's go back to that graph model again that kind of shows that. It shows you where everything is now. Continues to punch toward the southeast. There's midnight. Again, may still have a couple of things off toward the west. Again, you can see maybe a little shower or thunderstorm if there's anything in that, like what we're seeing coming through now. No big deal. That's around 2 in the morning. Going forward, yeah. So I think this is how it's going to finish out.
Well, that just as you say that.
Uh-oh, what'd you see?
A warning pops up in Alabama. This is going to be Perry County, and this is down to the south.
Oh, a severe thunderstorm warning, yeah.
I'm looking at velocity. There's no sign of rotation in that. That is purely a severe thunderstorm warning.
Well, it's still riding into an environment.
Yes, very much so.
I mean, there's still plenty of cape out there.
Yeah.
See that pink shaded area where it's running into? There's fuel. All right, well, that's a good sign. Let's go back to our stuff here. Let's see. Let's take a look at the velocity. I think for the most part, Alex, you tell me if I'm missing something, but we have no real warnings for our area anymore because the leading edge that prompted that severe thunderstorm warning has already left.
There's only one kink in the line that still catches my eye, which is similar to Valdosta, that is southern Manuel County now. But that is outside of the 13 WMAZ viewing area, and it's me looking for something, essentially. And that's the closest thing I can find. But yes, the leading edge is now out of Truitland, Montgomery, Johnson counties, which puts it outside of our area. Still quite the lightning show, that's for sure. Parts of Johnson County, certainly in Emmanuel County right now, down into Wheeler, Montgomery, Telfair County, finding Dorset there in Telfair County. Quite the lightning show in Eastman, Pineview, Hawkinsville, Unadilla. Saw a lot of action down in Dillon and Crisp counties earlier. We saw the storms going to the east down there, now they're coming out of the south, or they're moving to the east, now they're moving to the south down there. And then more lightning spreading up towards Montezuma, up towards Butler, and then over towards Columbus as this whole thing tries to move on out. And then when we zoom out, we see the cold front that's coming across the northwestern Georgia now back into central Alabama. That's the official back edge of the system. As soon as that makes it through, we are 110% done.
Yeah, that's the last line.
Yeah. So really what we're looking at for the rest of the night is seeing what happens to our northwest. Do any of these showers and storms do anything, which we're thinking no. And then what happens along this line? There's 2 warnings along that line right now, one in Alabama where Ben was just pointing out there's still a lot of storm food down there for it to heat up. And we don't have that kind of environment because we have been seeing storms all day in central Georgia. And then another warning up to the north, that's parts of Gilmer, Pickens, Dawson County up there in northern Georgia. That's going to be just north of our area. So we'll see what happens, but I do think we're leaning towards that wrap solution we've been talking about all night then. And we were saying we were going to have to get to this point
To know.
figure out what's going to happen, and now we're at this point.
See, and there's those things that Alex was talking about. These are those high cape, still where the food is. But go ahead, I'm sorry.
And we're hearing rain now on the roof again
Yep.
here at the station, so
There's still more fun to be had.
yes.
Yeah, that's a little shot right there. But so you can see again with this color coding. I need to start using this map more. I like this. I don't use this one. This one shows you where everything has been just scoured out. All of this out in front, a lot of cape, a lot of energy. Whenever you see that shade on there, you know, it is primed for thunderstorms to develop, and that goes back up to the line as well. But you can see we did a pretty good job today of chewing all this up, and so we'll see what these do when they come in, but there is no logical reason why they should become anything bigger than they are as they run into that. So, all right, guys, we hope that will do it, and I'm going to take a break and get ready for the 10 o'clock show coming up in a little bit, and then we'll do the 11 o'clock show, and then we will sit here for a little while tonight and the overnight and make sure that some of this stuff does behave, and then we'll welcome in Thursday. It'll be great. Hey, thanks for stopping by. We'll talk to you later.